friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse.
He treated his audience like an adult. Do you think God is worth worshiping? Do you? That was pretty much it, because Gore was a character who was basically abandoned by his gods. Mm-hmm. And it basically broke him. And when he had the power to kill gods, he went out there to kill all the gods.
You know? That sounds like a good story.
Yeah. It was an awesome story.
It was an amazing story.
He told me about the story. I hadn't even read it. He told me about the story, and I went back and read it. Like, damn, there's a lot in this. Like,
interesting.
It's a lot of philosophical notes in there. Yeah. It's like you end up empathizing with Gore a bit. It's like, hey, but this is what happened. You know, I was like, I could get it. My wife, my love, my kid. Okay, I can kind of see him going on a tirade.
Going off the rails, yeah.
And you didn't prove anything to him, but like, well, I'm a god and I'm right. Well, that doesn't prove anything to me.
I like it when you can kind of understand the villain. You have a certain amount of sympathy for the villain,
right?
And that's what.
And that's the thing. It's not so much. It wouldn't be. I wouldn't call it sympathy. I would call it understanding who that person is,
sure.
Why they got to where they got to. They can be a villain all day because that's based on your perspective. If you're standing on this side and you don't do that stuff, he's a villain. If you're standing over there with him, like, I completely understand, you're an idiot. You know? Yeah. But understanding how he got to the point that he's at is more interesting, and that's more like akin to anime and stuff like that, where you get that villain side of it. You get the other side of the story, not just, well, he did this and it's a terrible thing. Well, why did he do it, though? Well, just because he's bad. Well, that's lazy. Why?
Yeah. Right. But like in the Jane Foster run, he took that out. What? Odin was just a jerk.
Yeah,
why?
Odin was.
There was
and that's
no
why I didn't like
to
that.
it.
Yeah, that's why
he was just a misogynist pig. No, there wasn't why. Woman like crap. Who basically spat on his son. He didn't care about other people. He was just that way.
Yeah, the Allfather all of a sudden turned into I don't care about anybody. And I'm just going to hang out and chill with my brother and not do anything about what's going on in the universe. But what? This woman picked up my son's hammer? Hell no! I don't like that. That's like, it was stupid. Yeah. That was his whole point. He just hated that Jane Foster had the hammer. Like, dude, she's been around for like ever with your son. Yeah. Why are you upset about that shit? Yeah. If she's worthy enough to pick it up, that's how it works. It's done. I didn't have a problem with her being a female. It's just, okay, that's a new twist on it. I'll read it and see what's happening.
And then another problem that I had with that, it wasn't the fact that she was worthy, because she never proved herself worthy. The hammer said she was worthy.
Well, that's when they changed the hammer into being this elemental cosmic storm that was a female inside the hammer, and it wanted to be with Jane Foster.
Yeah, that was it. And I'm thinking,
so like a weird lesbian relationship.
It never established why she was worthy.
Yeah, it never established why she was worthy.
That was also a heated thing right there, because everybody else had to prove themselves worthy. Right. The woman, you're worthy because I say you're worthy. Which made everybody else behind her who proved themselves worthy, it was completely pointless. Mm-hmm. Like Beta Ray Bill. Like,
I'm trying to think, how did Beta Ray Bill prove himself? I knew he was like the...
Because she liked aliens.
It was his personality. The dude,
because he had been like the savior of a previous galaxy or something.
No, well, not he was saving his people.
His race.
Because that body that he's in, it's a cyborg's body. That's not his body.
Right.
There was a story. It was like a mini series of where that happened. Galactus was coming, and then Beta Ray Bill was off fighting Ragnarok in Asgard. So they picked up their they picked up a new cyborg called the Alpha Beta. Alpha Ray.
Yeah, because Alpha Beta was a store.
Yeah, the Alpha Ray, and it was the one before Beta Ray Bill, but it was a fully automated. It was a fully functioning robot.
Okay.
Where Beta Ray Bill was the next generation. He was like a living being. His soul and his mind was transferred into the body of a cyborg.
Okay.
He sacrificed his mind, his body, his flesh, everything for the sake of his people. Right. That's what made him worthy.
Like Rom.
Yeah, what he was willing to do for his people. He sacrificed everything. His chance to have kids, his chance to be with to feed, even to feel.
Right.
I mean, and what's good about that story is that they never said how long he was out there in his ship's scuttlebutt with his people in suspended animation, searching for a new home, protecting his own. It could have been for centuries, eons. And that's what made him worthy. What he was willing to do. Captain America's the same thing. When Captain America, it was like when he was wearing that black suit, he was U.S. agent.
Right. U.S. agent.
Everybody was doubting him. Oh, this may not be the right Captain America. Because of what he was willing to do, what he was willing to sacrifice. He was able to pick up that hammer. He was tossing everybody around. I mean, even Thor had his doubts, and then he saw him pick up the hammer and says, oh, this guy, he's the real deal. I ain't got no problem with him no more. Thor said, I ain't got no problem with you no more. You picked up the hammer. Only those who are worthy are the most worthy.
Right.
And that's the reason why people hated Eric Masterson. When I was a kid growing up, when I was going into comic book stores, everybody's like, who the fuck is this dude?
Thunderstrike.
Why is he Thor and Thor in chains? And the biggest question they had was, how did he become worthy? They never established that. He just picked up the hammer one day. And that's what pissed people off. It was the same thing. They saw him as a copy. They saw him as a copy. That's why when they made him into, Thunderstrike?
Yeah.
It still failed. They still saw the copy. That's why they killed him off. Wasn't making any money. And that's why his son, who's Thunderstrike, nobody cares about him.
Is he still? Is
See,
that character
you
still?
didn't know about it. Like, you didn't know that
He exists? He had a
That's
son?
how popular he is. Yeah, he's around. But they're not doing anything with him.
Is he just he's just kind of like a Thor-like character?
Yeah, he's like the light beer of Thor.
It'd be the equivalent of saying Doc Samson. And like, who is that? It's like, well, he's kind of a Hulk.
Yeah.
He has some powers like a Hulk, but he's not.
The
Hulk, right?
longer
No,
his
okay,
hair
so-
is, the stronger he gets.
Right.
That was a
And he has green hair.
yeah.
So yeah, it's the
He
same
is kind of a Hulk, and that's it.
Yeah, it's,
So that
it's
was the
Hulkish. It's a Hulk by other names.
Yeah, so, and they didn't learn their lesson. They brought about Jane Foster. It was the same problem. Why is she worthy? Well, the hammer said she's worthy. And that pissed off a lot of people. That makes everybody who worked their ass off and earned that privilege completely pointless.
Right.
When they had written Jane Foster in the past, was she really just like how like strongly had she been written previously? Like I never really read a lot of old Thor, but was she like a Lois Lane or is she?
No. That's the thing. That's one of the biggest problems. They didn't. Even Jason Aaron did not write her strong until she got the hammer. She was never a prominent character at all in Thor. Then all of a sudden, she's Thor.
Right.
And if they established before she picked up the hammer that she was worthy of it, like doing self-sacrifice, her personality, focusing more on Jane Foster, and that would be understandable.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why most people said that it should have been Sif instead of her, because Sif was actually there fighting for her people and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
sacrifice. She actually had some kind of relationship with Thor, so it made more sense for her to be Thor than it would be for Jane Foster to be
Yep.
Thor.
And not only that, she hates gods, and she's an atheist. So that doesn't.
So now she's a god, and people were supposed to worship her. Which was that one story I read where she was competing against those Shi'ar gods, and she was supposed to be going out there doing these labors to gain worshipers, so the people on this planet would actually worship her. I said that doesn't make any sense for her. Why would she even? She wouldn't even.
She wouldn't play that game.
She wouldn't
would
play.
not play that game.
She wouldn't. She wouldn't play. This is a non-start, right? She lost, right? I propose a game, and you don't believe in this game, but we're going to play it anyway. Well, you
See, I
just
kind of
lost.
like that sound. I kind of like the sound of that though.
It's funny, but it's like I read it. I was like, okay, it's interesting, but she's supposed to be getting people to kind of worship her,
Right.
and that's
she
not
doesn't
what she's
want
about.
that.
Yeah. So okay,
And now
fine.
that she, like I said, she hates. He put it in the personality because her mother died from cancer. She hates God. Well, God's never there for me. So if God exists, why doesn't He do something for me? God's probably like, motherfucker, why don't you? Why don't you do something? And that's what he never put in there before she picked up the hammer.
Right.
They never established that she was worthy. They turned her into a Mary Sue. That was the biggest problem because in the beginning I was like, okay, this is interesting. I want to see this. Then I read it. I was like, this is just terrible to me. You turned her into a Mary Sue. You made her a ripoff.
Then they put her on the council of the council of realms and stuff like that. Oh, okay, it's councilman. Good. She represents Earth.
And here's another one. Who taught her how to fight? Nobody.
Exactly.
And yet she can go toe to toe with Odin. She can beat Magog. No, hell no.
This is the person that
It
Odin's
was-
afraid of. No, it's the person that Odin is afraid of facing.
And Odin can wipe out galaxies, so this doesn't make it. That's why I did not like it. It was just a statement. I'm mad at you guys for not liking my idea, so I'm going to do this to your characters.
Who's been doing the art for that run?
Oh, Jesus.
Anybody notable?
He should be notable now.
Yeah,
He's
he's a good artist.
He's a
Good
hell of an
artist.
artist. That's why I was reading it.
Because
It was
that's the thing I've seen. Mostly is like covers and
covers look
they've been
amazing.
looking pretty good.
Covers look amazing, and the internals look good. There's a couple of issues that got wonky, but overall the internals was awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I like reading it. It's like,
Russell, was it Duderman?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, RD. Yeah, but
Russell Duderman, I think.
yeah. So I liked it because it was a different take on Thor. Given the points that he's making, I was like, okay, yeah, all that in context. Let me just see what he does with this, and then read it through. Was like, yeah, I don't like Odin like that. No, he wouldn't come in there and disrespect Freya like that.
Yeah.
And that was towards the freaking end of the run. Like
No,
when he's
that was from the very beginning, too.
right from the beginning. Odin was hating on her.
Yeah.
This woman should not pick up the hammer. I was like, dude, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
As guardian woman in your pantheon right here, that's beast. Like, he wouldn't. That doesn't even make any sense that he
Yeah.
would go there like that.
Yeah,
right?
no woman should pick up the hammer of Thor.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
thinking,
like, oh,
your
dude.
greatest warriors are women. They've always been. Like they did a retcon.
Don't tell the Valkyries.
Yeah, because they did a retcon
Hello, ladies.
back in like the early 2000s of Thor's origin.
Okay.
When he was acting like a jerk, starting wars with people, and Odin was telling him to knock it off. He was somewhere in Asgard, just causing trouble, and that's when Odin went to his greatest warriors. Now you would think it would be the Warrior 3 or something like that. That's what I was thinking. He said, nope, it was the Valkyrie. He says, humble my son, bring him before me, and they would have done it too, because one of the Valkyrie walked right up to her, and he thought he was gonna have some fun. Nope, she took that sword, stuck it right in his stomach, and they started whooping on him. They would have ended up beating him if some kind of monster had not rose out of the ground, because they were attacked by a huge beast.
Okay.
So they were forced to fight, and they were so pumped up on their victory, they all started celebrating together, and that's when Odin got involved.
Told you to bring him to me.
Yeah, I liked that one because it was during the time, it was like 300 AD or something like that.
Okay.
I liked that one because it gave the impression that Thor had to die, be reborn, die, be reborn, and die, be reborn again as a human being in order to learn his lesson. Because the original story, he was just Donald Blake, a doctor, and he found a stick and hit the stick, and that's it.
Yeah, that's a slick way of kind of working the mythology into the Donald Blake story.
Yeah, and I like that retcon because it shows that he's been doing it for eons. He had to learn his lesson for a long time.
So he hard-headed.
Yeah, and it was a good ending to that story because it showed him as a crippled human being. Someone was sick and he couldn't walk to them, so he had to ask someone for help. Mm-hmm. He says, "I hate doing this. I don't want to do this, but I can't walk. Can you carry me?" And it shows him healing people. And it says at the very end, it shows Odin sitting on his throne, looking at his son on this magic ball. Just let it be known that Thor was known for his humanity. It's a start. I love that story. I can't find it. I'm trying to find it because
This is early 2000s or so?
yeah, early 2000s or like late 90s.
Okay.
It was a good story.
Welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they love one day docked away. Just because we check the guns at the door doesn't mean our brains will change from hand grenades.